Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we are going to do an NXT Stand and Deliver prediction video. This will be Saturday, I think about morning noonish time. I don't know. It's very odd timing, and going to make Saturday a very long wrestling day, which normally isn't really too much of a problem, but you know how that goes. Every once in a while, it's just like that's a lot of wrestling, a lot of matches, but I think this one will be definitely worth it. So let's just jump right into it. So first off, I guess we'll go just based on this match card that I found online. It's D'Angelo family versus Dark State. They kind of had a parking lot brawl, and it kind of just honestly is a little overly weird. Like I guess to me, I feel like this whole thing stopped, or like with the Dark State and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure Trick Williams was gonna be like the leader, and I think everybody was so obviously thinking that they pivoted, and I have a feeling it's gonna be Stacks. I have a feel like this is their way of like baiting the family in or something, and we could really see Stacks take over or something. I'm not really sure. It's one of those stories that's like it's semi interesting, but I haven't cared too much for it because it's just overall one of those storylines that's either really good or really bad at times. I think Dark State wins here. I think they need to keep continuing to roll, or this faction will get buried. So they got to win here. They want to be against the champions, or like the people that are in the championship match, and winning here also would be very big. So I think Dark State wins. Next up is the women's tag team number one contendership match, which is Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus Metaphor versus Fatal Influence versus Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. So it's pretty much all former tag teams and tag teams that are current right now, which is kind of cool. Like I think that they put a solid four teams together. And in my prediction video of like what matches that they were gonna maybe do for Stand and Deliver, I thought something like this would be perfect. And knowing that it's a number one contendership match for the actual tag team titles, I feel like it's kind of a little bit more important. I honestly think this is the winner of here is a very good indicator that they will get drafted to the main roster. Like, it's a very good chance. So, like, Metaphor would be one of my top choices, but I think it's going to be Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. I think they win, and then they eventually set up the chance that when they face whoever is the tag team champs, they lose, or like even Roxanne takes the pin and then Cora turns on her, or there's a million things that could happen here. I think there's some good stuff that happens. So I think Cora and Roxanne wins because one, Roxanne's had one hell of a year, and this is a like pre-show match, I think. So like you know that she deserves a lot better than that. So I think like this match, I think she's winning. I don't think she loses a pre-show match. Also, then we got the NXT Tag Team Champions, which is Fraxium versus Hank and Tank. They've built Hank and Tank up so big with taking like all those L's and talking to all those tag teams and all that. I don't think they don't win here. I really don't want Fraxium to lose, but I do think they might be a main roster call up, and maybe that's what it is. But I don't really see Hank and Tank losing here with them the way that they built this up. This is just way too overly built to be like they're just gonna get squashed. So I guess Hank and Tank win. I don't know if I necessarily like that move, but it's something, I guess. I mean, there's not going to be a perfect tag team to beat Fraxium, I think. So I think this is how it goes. Then the next up is the North American NXT Men's title, which is Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page, the two AEW, like former AEW stars. I think that's kind of crazy that they're both in this match. I do think Ricky Saints wins here. I mean, it's only his like first title defense, so it's not going to be that crazy. Like it would be really crazy just for him to lose, and I think even Page could definitely be a longer rivalry with him. But I think it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be pretty solid. I think this one's one of those out of many of these matches. I think this one's the post like solid pick. I don't think anything else that I've spoken about can really go 50-50, but this one I think is 100% lock. Then we have the North American Women's title Championship ladder match, which is Zarya versus Kalani Jordan versus Izzy Dane versus Sol Ruka versus Lola Vice versus Fia Hale. Now, there's actually a lot of people that have a really good shot here. I'm gonna probably go with the one that has the least amount of shot, which was probably Sol Ruka because she just won the Speed Championship. I know that probably doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but at least like her winning a title, I think is like them to show that they have faith that she's gonna win. But I think that they're probably gonna put the North American title on somebody else to see how they can do. I also think maybe Zarya would then maybe be the second least, just because like they are a tag team. I don't know. This one's very difficult. Izzy Dane with the culling looks good, so like it would be a good thing to really make that faction work by giving her gold. I don't know if you want to do that. Kalani as a heel in the same match that she won this title as a babyface is also a very cool touch. Fia Hill coming back from being on the shelf, or like, with Chase U being gone, they just haven't used her, and then all of a sudden now are using her, is a kind of a cool thing to maybe just get a hot start and give her a title. And Lola Vice has been a solid worker. I think she probably is maybe the second least maybe to win, just because like she's a solid worker and been towards more of the main event scene and might start going against main event people. So I don't know. This women's division is just so stacked. I guess me personally, I guess I'll give you two picks. What I'm thinking is going to happen and what I want to happen. I want Zarya to win. She's my favorite out of these six, other than Soul. But like, I don't think Soul's going to win because of the double champion win. But I'm thinking Zarya, at least for my personal pick. But I think they're going to go with Kalani Jordan. But it also really depends on the women's championship match, because I feel like they always kind of have a heel in the face on the opposite for the mid cards and stuff. So um, possibly. I mean, they had Stephanie and Julia both as faces, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking too much into it. But yeah, Zarya is my sentimental pick. My What I think it might actually happen is Kalani. Next up is the not North American, the women's championship match, which is Stephanie Vercor versus Julia versus Jada Parker versus Jordan Grace. This one's a weird one just because, like, I feel like Julia being hurt and then coming back is kind of a weird thing to give her the title back right away, because I think she's hurt, obviously. I think like this is the one that doesn't change, because it's like Jada Parker, I don't think they should put the title on at all, because of all her outside stuff is just not a good pick. Jordan Grace would be a great opportunity to give her the title. I think she probably should win it like one on one. And the same thing with Julia. I think like a one on one match with Stephanie is where they're going with. And having Stephanie only have the one title defense, it's kind of crazy. But I mean, we've seen other stuff happen. I think Stephanie retains here. I think it's more of a lock compared to like the men's side that I think really could get spicy, but I think Stephanie retains. And then speaking of the men, for the why do I keep saying North American, for the NXT Championship match, it's Oba Femi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. Honestly, like this match is going to be the best match of the night. I mean, like, no offense to the women, because the women are going to absolutely put on a show, but this match is going to be brutal. They've already shown flashes of just putting on a 5-star match, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if the 5-star system is even relevant to be saying, but you understand when I say I think it's going to be amazing. And honestly, they could go no wrong by giving anybody the championship on this. That's the crazy part, because Obafemi, if he keeps this championship thing, he becomes even more dominant, where I honestly think you could just even want to call him up if you want to. Or he just holds on to it until he gets the next call up. Because that's the problem with Obafemi. There's not many people that can beat him. This is the best opportunity. It's supposed to be more than likely at a triple threat or a fatal 4-way, where he's probably not going to deal with anything like be the one that gets the pin. I can almost guarantee you he won't be pinned if he loses the title this match. And then you got Trick Williams, who has been NXT champion. This is a different version of Trick, so it'd be kind of interesting to have him as champion. Again, I feel like Trick is, out of the three, probably the most likely person to be called up during the draft. He's very over, and like I think he would be a very good addition to like a SmackDown where they have a bustling mid card where he could get in there and actually get some matches, and even possibly reunite with Carmelo Hayes if he wants to, get him out of that Miz universe. I'm not a big fan of that tag team. It's at least something, but I feel like it's definitely something that Carmelo deserves better. But that's kind of just a side thing. And then you got Javon Evans, the young guy, the young OG. Like, man, he is probably one of the most athletic like athletically gifted people on the roster, and I do believe he's going to be a champion one day. I only think that he kind of struggled on that last promo right before the event. Like I kind of thought he had a way better chance. I would have probably put his chance into maybe like the high 30% out of everybody, and then kind of split the difference on the other two. But I feel like it dropped a little bit on that because he kind of struggled in that promo a little bit, and it felt like maybe he wasn't completely fully ready for this. I mean, if he was going for the North American title, I think it would have been a lock because of how well of a year he's had. But I think, yeah, this is just going to be a phenomenal match either way. So I'm going to go with Obafemi retaining. Uh, Honestly, you could throw a dice or throw a coin would have three sides. I don't know. You could literally pick anybody, throw a dart. Any of those would have been perfect. But yeah, that's been my prediction video. Tell me in the comments below what you guys think because it is going to be a show. I think it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited to see the show, see WrestleMania. I have my WrestleMania prediction videos coming up, or if they're already up on the channel. But yeah, until then, it's been Japan. Bye, guys.